Hey guys, what's up? So it's Friday again, and I'm super sorry I didn't post last week, but Megan and I had this huge problem where we couldn't get into our YouTube channel. We could get on our Gmail account, but not the actual account, like the actual channel. So both of us couldn't upload on time, and I couldn't upload at all. So, now things are back to normal. Our channel is working, and I thought I would enter, the video with saying that I know I look like crap, but today is not going to be a beauty video for me. It's actually, or a fashion video. It's actually going to be a little bit of a personal video. After Megan did the video on the representation on the internet, I really wanted to do something that was very focused on kind of something a little bit more personal and serious that I would like to talk about. So today I'm going to be talking about dealing with anxiety and how to go about dealing with it and knowing if you have it or not, and all kind of things surrounding the topic. So I'm going to try not to make this video too long, but I am going to tell you about my experience dealing with anxiety, and in no way am I looking for attention when I'm posting this. I just thought I would kind of talk about it and my experiences and maybe help somebody if you do watch this and you deal with the same thing. I started dealing with anxiety when I was about 5. I know that seems young, but that was the problem, is that it wasn't something that came when I was stressed or with school or anything like that, and I was just like, oh, I'm nervous. It was more when I was younger, and I know this because my parents have told me that I would have panic attacks as a kid. So that kind of started when I was really young. So I've kind of dealt with it my whole life, or as far back as I can remember, and a lot of it stemmed from my parents and how they were when they were together. I was constantly nervous about fighting or arguments that were going to happen and how to stop it, or if my parents were going to stay together, even at a young age. So I kind of developed this habit of being very nervous and all the time, no matter what, about everything. And when people talk about anxiety, it's kind of a thing where people take it wrong. Anxiety, like you're anxious to do something, or you're nervous, and it is being nervous, but I mean it is a lot different than being nervous or something. And I can definitely tell the difference when I'm nervous or something and then when I'm feeling anxious. So yeah, I pretty much felt anxious. I couldn't sit still. I constantly felt like I was going to throw up because I was so nervous all the time. And then when I turned about 10 or 12-ish, between that age, my parents did end up splitting up, and that kind of put me in a kind of darker place that, whatever, I was upset about it, and obviously, as most people would be, but the anxiety kind of went away when I was feeling pretty down, because I wasn't worrying about anything, because I didn't care at that point. I was just kind of I mean, the typical thing that someone does when their parents break up. They kind of feel like, everything is bad and whatever. It isn't, but that's how I felt. And then the worrying kind of went away because I was kind of I wouldn't say numb, because that's just not a good word to use, but when you're sad, I mean, I was very null to everything, so I didn't worry about much because something already happened that I was worrying about. And after a couple years of them being split up, my sadness obviously went away. I got used to it. I was fine. I have a good relationship with my parents now, so that's good. But the nervous feeling kind of came back, and it was more prominent than before. Before, I kind of had a reason to be nervous all the time, which was, my parents and everything. But now at the time, it was about everything. And I think sometimes people can get the idea mixed up that anxiety can become from, going to school. And of course, I mean, for me, my anxiety does come out when I do go to school. But what I mean is things that are genuinely things to be nervous about, going to a new school, being nervous about going to a new school, starting a new job, stuff like that. People, doesn't, just because you're nervous sometimes, it doesn't mean you're anxious or you have anxiety, because everyone gets nervous about things. For me, to this day, it's hard to do a lot of things because of it. I can't well, I can, but I get really, really worked up about going out with my friends, even if I've known them for a long time. I've known my friends for almost 4 years, and like I still get nervous about that kind of stuff for some reason. Small stuff like walking down the street, taking the bus, being in public. A lot of it is very difficult because you feel like something bad's going to happen all the time, and it gets to the point where you would rather lock yourself in your room and be safe than do something that is a little bit out of your comfort zone. And that's how it was, and I honestly kind of stayed within my comfort zone for all of high school because I was really nervous of doing these things. And I don't know why, because I knew nothing bad was going to happen, but my mind made myself believe that something bad was going to happen. So then my whole high school, I was very nervous and everything, overthought things. Now it has gotten worse, and it's gotten better in a way that absolutely everything makes me anxious. There's not one thing that I do that doesn't make me nervous, as bad as that seems. But I have learned to ignore that feeling, and that's something that has actually made me proud of myself, and kind of made it better, because I could sit here worrying about if, going out with my friends is gonna make me nervous, or I'm anxious about it. But at the same time, I know that things bad are gonna happen, and I force myself to go out and stuff. And a big part of that is the guy that I'm dating, my boyfriend. He knows about all this stuff that happened, and a lot of it he's kind of pushed me to do, and I've kind of, not pushed, forced me, of course, but I mean, he's kind of been like, I'm here, if you feel nervous, we can go, kind of thing. And I'll be like, fine. And then when I do go, I realize nothing bad is happening. There's no reason for me to be anxious or worried. And so that's that. And basically now I've learned to control it and ignore the feeling, because as bad as it may seem, if you ignore it, not that it will go away, but you will teach yourself that whatever you're worrying about is probably not that big of a deal. And that's a good thing for me, at least. Anxiety also causes panic attacks, and that is something I've dealt with for a long time as well. They happen sometimes with anyone that goes through this kind of stuff, and it's normal. And I've had my own way of calming myself down, and I'm sure everyone else does. So that's my story, and basically what I wanted to say, a little bit of advice, I guess, is some commonly asked questions, I guess you would say. One of them is, how do you stop a panic attack from happening if you are suffering from anxiety? A lot of, for me, is I'm not stupid. I've dealt with this for long enough that I know now what is going on, and if I'm having a panic attack, or if I'm just, I don't know. But I know now, so it's kind of more of the fact that I have a method, and I don't know if this works for everybody, it just works for me, but I usually close my eyes, and even if I feel like I'm going to throw up or if I can't breathe, I focus on my breathing, and I just picture myself in a place that this stuff would not happen. For me, it's usually I'm lying in my bed in my own apartment, sun coming down through the window beside, someone I love, which is my boyfriend, having a cup of coffee. I just kind of focus my brain on the fact that of this beautiful, perfect moment, and it really does calm myself down a lot. And that's something that I've learned over the years. I have gone to counselors for this and all that kind of stuff, so I've dealt with what I have to deal with. That's also the next point that I wanted to make, is that I'm genuinely asking you guys, if you watch this, do not self-diagnose yourself. WebMD will not be your best friend, and that's that. If you feel a certain way and you think something's happening to you, go to the doctors. Personally, I would and never have taken medicine for it, because that's just ridiculous, I think. I think that I mean, mine is as bad as it's been for me. Maybe it can get worse, I don't know, but for me, I would just never take medicine, and I've told the doctor that when I talked to him about my anxiety, that I never want to take medicine for it. So there's always alternatives, but you should definitely get checked out if you do feel like something like this is happening with you, because it's never good to self-diagnose, because that may not be the case. It may just be you're having a hard time right now, and you think it's anxiety, but it's not. You're just going through something. You should go to a doctor if you feel a certain way, so that you know whether it is or not, and not kind of think something in your head, because that will also not make it any better. When I went to the doctors, I told them, and they wanted to prescribe me an anxiety medicine, and I said no. In turn of that, I actually ended up going to talk to someone, which made it a lot easier and, in my opinion, way better than any kind of medicine, because that stuff can usually numb you, and I don't want that to happen at all. I'm a very happy person. It's just anxiety makes me nervous a lot. So yeah, if you honestly feel like this is something that you're dealing with, you should definitely go talk to your doctor or your parents, and they will definitely be able to help you out. I talk to my dad about it all the time, and most of the time he helps calm me down, and it's a lot easier. You should have that one person that you can go to if you feel in a certain way, especially if you suffer from anxiety, that you can talk to, and they won't make fun of it. I have many people in my life that at any time of the day, of the night, I can just call on them, and they will help me from having a hard time, and that's amazing. And that's one of the biggest things that can help you, is having somebody there that's like a best friend, a father. Like my dad's very good with that stuff, and my boyfriend and my friends are awesome as well. So I mean, it's very easy to get caught up in my own worries and everything like that, but it's definitely a lot easier to deal with when I have so many people around me that don't think it's like something small, and they help me with it, and they help me overcome it. And yeah, it's a thing that people deal with, and if you're dealing with it, I feel you, but everything will be okay. And just make sure you talk to somebody, make sure you really, I just think that sometimes you have to sit yourself down, and even if your worries seem like the biggest, worst problems in the entire world, you gotta sit yourself down and think, is this really worth my time? Is this worth me feeling like crap about? There's things I worry about, like I don't want to go out to that party because there's gonna be people there, and I don't want to be around that many people. And you worry about that, and you worry about that, but then you gotta also think, do you want to miss something like that? Is it really worth it? Because when you go there, you're gonna realize everything is okay. And I just think that being able to sit yourself down and think, your worries and all that stuff, but also be able to counteract it with, what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go past my fears and just do something. And if you can think a positive thought and kind of juxtapose yourself with a negative thought, then you can definitely do the opposite. And if you're thinking negatively, you can definitely think a positive thought, which may even help change your own mind and get you to do those things that you're worrying about, and help you get over an obstacle in your life. And I think that's an awesome thing. You're your own best friend when it comes to stuff like that. No one can convince you can do something if you don't believe it. And even if you are truly dealing with anxiety, and it's something that you've been dealing with and struggling with, you can always help yourself. And I think that I've hopefully done that, and I hope you all can too if you have this problem. Yeah, I'm sorry this video is all over the place. It's hard to talk about, and it's one of those things where my brain's just in a million places. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. And if you have any questions, please ask down below. And me and Megan have something super exciting for you coming up, and I'm so excited about it. We have a whole weekend this weekend to film and do things for you guys, and it's going to be awesome. And I'll see you guys next week. And yeah, so have a good day, and yeah, bye-bye.